So, after our latest release, I was really tired, and I was totally ready to skip a video and enjoy some free time. But then, Imagine Dragons decided to release a song and compete with my own. And so, here we are doing what we always do, breaking apart all the little Easter eggs this new music video teaser is hiding. And so, without further ado, because there is a lot of cool things to talk about, let's get into it. Right at the beginning, we need to mention one thing. I personally believe that the majority of the shots used for this music video were custom made. This means that these specific shots will likely not appear in Arcane. These were composed just for this. However, because Riot already revealed the soundtrack for Arcane, and since there we can find this exact track, alternatively it is also very much possible that exactly what we can see here will appear in the series. It is possible that in the middle of an episode, we will see this exact video, probably without the credits. But I'm more leaning towards the fact that this is probably custom made. And the reason why this is possible is because all of this is made by the same studio, Fortiche. So since they already modeled the city and they had the assets for all of this, they could just record new shots using all the models they already had. So even though we have seen this exact street with the last drop in the other trailers, all of this might still be new. It begins with young Jinx entering the pub, which is already pretty interesting because this is where Vi goes when she's looking for Jinx in the other trailers. So this pub might be the place where everything goes wrong for Jinx. Regardless, on the right side you can see a poster with some kind of a swordsman and a text that might say something like Playa? Unfortunately, I am not too familiar with the music scene, so this might be an Easter egg pointing at something which I simply don't recognize. Let me know if this is some past piece of music which I have missed. As she enters the pub, we get the reveal of Imagine Dragons. All of these are the band members, with the rapper JID being on the right. From this shot alone, I just have to say, I love the Chemtech guitar. Once again, remember that this music video is made by Fortiche, the same studio that is working on the series itself. So since they actually have models for all the band members, it is absolutely possible that all of these may appear as background characters somewhere in the series. And I find that pretty damn cool, because they stay in the Zonaite characters. You can even see that the lead vocalist has an augmented arm. Jinx then sits down with her monkey toy. This is a toy which we assume she made herself, because remember, she is actually quite a smart tinkerer. And this is a big teaser for the fact that this monkey may give Jinx a PTSD later on. Remember, it is highly likely that Jinx will go crazy in the series because of the purple drug. Enter the purple eye theory, which we have talked about on this channel 5 times already. Obviously, this scene is also a callback to her very first music video, the one where she lays on the table as an adult and plays with the same monkey. As the name of the song flashes behind her in all the different fonts. At the very end, for just one frame, the studio Fortiche signed their work. And it is after they hear the monkey play, which by the way is slightly offbeat, the Zonaite band starts to jam. But here we need to point out some of the really cool details on the band members. In Zone, tattoos are usually connected to either gangs or camp barons. So even though I don't really recognize any of the tattoos here, I wonder if the one on the forehead is connected to the symbol Silco is using for his purplish cult. Anyway, the one detail I absolutely love here is the augmented boombox jammed into his heart. It is such a good design. The drummer of course has some Hextech sticks and their own tattoos which are unfortunately unique. And this is when it is revealed that this music video is all about the story of Jinx. This is where she recalls some past moments, as well as we get some teasers of her future. For example, I believe that this shot might actually appear in Arcane. I believe this might be the time Vi and Jinx reunite after Jinx was captured by Silco, and theoretically after she had some of the purple stuff. Once more, there is a detailed shot of the Chemtech guitar and I absolutely love it. Then we have these shots, which might be unique for the video. because I'm not sure how they would utilize these slow-mo shots in the series. Regardless, here you can see the 4 childhood friends, which were revealed at the very beginning of the series. These 4 kids are the core members of their future gang. In the next shot we can see the same 4 kids, but hey, there is an extra. We'll talk about all of these in just a moment, including him. But super quickly, we need to point out that yes, Kraggles are now canon, and we can also see some puffcaps, which, as was revealed in Legends of Runeterra, are somewhat of an illegal drug in Zone. Then we have this shot, which I also believed will appear in the series, because we have seen a very similar shot in the other trailers. This shot isn't really important besides the fact that in the background we can see 2 masked figures who are obviously from Ionia. Based on the masks, they may or may not be Kinku, but hilariously enough, we've seen these heads connected to Jin before. But no, don't worry, this is not Jin. These are likely just some Ionians who come from somewhere around Zayun. I wonder if they could be linked to Faye. But more than that, just remember that this is not unusual. Piltover and Zone are trade cities. People come here from all over the world. Super quickly, you can see that their chef has a fishy hand. We'll see him later. Then we have Jinx and that mysterious other person jumping on a bed. Once again, nothing too special, this might be in their orphanage. Then we get this really creepy setup that will be revealed later. Then there is the fishy chef. You know, it may or may not be a Vastaya. Definitely not unusual on Runeterra. And then the creepy setup has a reveal. I hate this, but this is godly. For just 1 frame at the very end of this scene, it transforms into adult Jinx. But here she has blue eyes, so it is before she went crazy. I truly have no idea what this is teasing. But here's the thing, it is teasing something. This is not just some allegory. There is a reason why this green firefly exists. Because in the last trailer, if you remember the video where I was talking about it, you may remember that I was confused about this. There was this scene with the fireflies in the background. That's what this is. You know, maybe it is some kind of an allegory. It may be some kind of a nightmare that originates from Jinx, and then it haunts Vi. But right now, we really don't know the truth behind this. This creepy shot just became an entire new cool mystery. Then we have a few shots where Vi is teaching her gang how to fight. And this is where we can really see all the gang members. We have the bushy eyebrow guy, whom we know will somehow betray Vi and Jinx, because in the majority of the trailers, Vi is actually punching his caricature. And also we can see him later on joining Silco. Then there is the other guy, about whom we still know absolutely nothing. We still don't know if this actually becomes Jace in the future. Definitely not undeniable, but this guy is still a mystery. Then there is Jinx, a totally new mysterious character. Then another new mysterious character, and another one, and another one. And between them, and this is a minor spoiler considering that it was actually shown in the trailer, this blonde guy is the one who gets corrupted by the purple stuff, and he is turned into a zombie. And lastly, there is, whom I even believe is Echo. And that's for one very interesting reason. It is obvious that this is a side character, but at the same time Riot is drawing attention to them, so they have to be important. But there's more to that. Their character design really matches what Echo looks like. They have the white shirt, green baggy pants, shins distinguished from the pants, and one hand distinguished with a glove from the other. We always believed that Echo was a bit younger than Vi and Jinx. But since we never knew how old Jinx actually was, there's nothing to say that Jinx and Echo couldn't be at least similar age. That's why it is absolutely possible that this can be Echo. And there is even more to that in just a moment. Then there is a quick shot of Jinx back in the pub, checking her muscles, most likely remembering the times Vi was teaching her how to fight. And of course they all had to learn how to fight because they were in Zone. and in Zone, only the strong survived. And what's awesome is that after she remembered that Echo wasn't really the best fighter, which makes sense because later on he will rely on his tinkering, Jinx laughs at that memory. And then we quickly go back to the band. God damn it, I love the guitar, but no hand augments from the guitarist. Interesting. And here we can also see that they are just playing regular cards. It's a shame, they could have been playing Tellstones. And then we have this famous shot, which I probably have to censor. So this series will have these kinds of shots as well as drugs. I really don't believe this is going to be for kids. This is definitely going to be for the core audience. But here's the brilliant thing about this scene. This is a very faint connection to a future Jinx story. You see, the thing that they are riding is called the Disc Runner, also sometimes called the Ring Runner. This one looks primitive, and so it was actually likely made by Echo himself. But in the future, in a story called Wedding Crasher, when Jinx is already an adult, she crashes a noble wedding, and there she steals one of the Ring Runners. But because she herself never drove it, she didn't even know how to start it. And so she just smashed the biggest, reddest button on it, and that's how she got away. So this is a really cool tiny nod to an invention which Jinx will use in the future herself. Also, I don't believe this shot is connected to the previous one. The shot with the wardens might actually be custom made. Because if they actually flipped off the wardens would likely be a bit more aggressive. And then there is this fascinating scene. We see two thugs beating another guy. Now the face of the person on the ground is purposefully hidden. But we actually know who those two thugs are. Those two are from Vi's gang. We have seen them when they were learning how to fight. So that's why Jinx is not happy to see this. She's not just witnessing some random guy being beaten. She is witnessing her own gang members mercilessly beating another person. And she likely doesn't want to be part of that. Then it seems like the gang is gonna be caught doing something. The wardens will find them. And since the bushy eyebrow guy is way too fast, by the time he's already gone, Jinx barely started running. Then there is this random shot, which might also be custom made, where Jinx is pretending to shoot the wardens. And just for 2 frames, she actually goes into her adult form, once again with blue eyes. So she is still not crazy there. Then we have a shot of Vi and Jinx actually being caught by the wardens. And this is where we get to the sad part. We have 2 kinds of Jinx's memories. The ones where she remembers them fighting as children with pillows, and the ones of them fighting as teenagers for real. Notice that while in their kids' memories the beds are empty, in their teenage memories, Jinx already started fiddling with some inventions. Vi then pushes Jinx onto the ground, and Jinx is genuinely shocked that Vi attacked her. Then it is revealed that all of this is likely happening in their gang house, because in the background there seems to be some kind of a towel with the face of the bushy eyebrow guy. And that's where Jinx starts crying. Then we have the rap part, which is probably not canon, but this reveals another reason why this might be Echo. It seems like these two are really going to be friends. So it makes sense why in Legends of Runeterra, Echo has so many interactions with Jinx. But more on that. Notice that he does have some kind of a toy sword, which means that unlike the others, he is going to rely on some kind of a weapon. However, he also has his makeshift apron, the same one he has as a growing man. But here it is a simple sheet of metal attached to him. This design really screams Echo. It is the same kind of stylized apron over the white shirt. I really don't think this is a coincidence. And then we have these cool trippy shots of Jinx meeting her future self. The reason why these are so emotionally powerful is because these all show us the same thing. The past Jinx as a kid who didn't really know how to fight, and the future adult Jinx who knew how to handle herself pretty well. Of course, here specifically we can also see the first iteration of Fishbones. This is the same version which is in the Arcane skin. So this was the one she made when she was still sane. Then we have a more detailed shot of her adult self, and then she breaks down. Once again, since this is made by the same studio that is working on the series, I think they reused an animation which they used in the series. You know the one where Jinx screams out of the window? I think that's the exact animation we can see here, but from the front. It might be a clever reuse of their assets. Anyway, all the following shots show us how she's breaking. She's actually hitting her head like a mentally ill person. It's probably because she's trying to get rid of some really awful memories. And then there is this brilliance. The scene where Jinx's eyes flash purple for just a second, teasing that when she's going to go crazy, her eyes will change. So the theories were right, and her eyes being blue are no coincidence. She is going to go crazy because of the purple stuff. The purple drug that some of the other guys are snorting. The same one which Silco will use to manipulate people. So it is likely that Jinx has a dose of that purple dangerous stuff in her body. Whether it is linked to the void still remains a mystery, but it is definitely not out of the question. Then we have this cool shot of Jinx just standing her, with the projection of her nightmarish memories on top of her. And when they fade, she is far more serious. Also, a really cool detail at the end of this shot. Notice how her eyes roll back. It's just more signs of insanity and something that may be drug related. And this is by far the most emotional shot. Once again, the one where young Jinx couldn't handle herself and she had to rely on other people to defend her, with her adult self above her, ready to deal with anything. And then it quickly goes through 3 iterations of Jinx, which is likely going to be the 3 different time frames in which this series will take place. There is the one where Jinx is really just a kid. This is likely where all the bad stuff with fire will happen. Then there is the one where she is slightly older. This is where she will likely meet Silco and some bad things will happen to her again. And then there is her adult version. The one where she will likely have to face Vi again. And that's where the song ends. As you can see, there are some really cool Easter eggs. And who knows, maybe Imagine Dragons will actually appear somewhere in the background. I just wanna say, with how much focus there is on Jinx's character, and how really screwed up the entire story seems to be, I really have the feeling that this is going to be insane. I know that some people became skeptical after what happened, but this truly seems to be on another level. And most importantly, Imagine Dragons may be more canon than Shaco.